Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Steve Zoll. I'm the Director of Human Resources here with the East Stroudsburg Area School District, and I'm very pleased and excited to have an opportunity to share with you information about how to process applications with our district, particular opportunities of employment that we have available in our district, and what steps one would take to complete such. So I appreciate our committee and our panel here today to assist as we offer our Career Opportunities Seminar. So I certainly welcome all of you in attendance here today. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Riker and Trenae Lurie for some opening comments.
Good afternoon. My name is Trenae Lurie, and I'm the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coach for the East Stroudsburg Area School District. I'm very excited for this opportunity for us to engage with our community in a greater way. There's been many times that we have wanted, I believe, to have more of our community members a part of what we do, but we haven't done this. So this is great that we're able to do this at this time. So I'm excited for what you'll learn today. I'm grateful that our committee has put together such a wealth of knowledge to be able to give out to the community so that the people who actually work in the community can be a part of our East Stroudsburg community. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm glad that all of you have joined us today. So I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Riker.
Why, thank you, Ms. Lurie. Welcome to the East Stroudsburg Career Opportunities Seminar. Everyone, my name is Dr. William Riker, and I'm proud to serve as the superintendent of our great district. Today, you will hear many reasons why East Stroudsburg Area School District is the right place for you to start and or grow your career. You will hear about how we are leaders in education, how we're innovative, we're creative. You will hear about growth opportunities within our district, training opportunities, and our focus on the students, the staff, and the communities we serve. East Stroudsburg School District is truly a place where we focus on the whole child, and our diversity allows us to work hard on learning, understanding, and being accepting of everyone. East Stroudsburg is a place where you do what you love, and you can touch the minds, the hearts, and the future of generations to come. So the only question left is, how can we get you to join our family at East Stroudsburg Area School District? So with more, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Jody Borman, who's going to give you a brief overview of the district.
Hello, and welcome to East Stroudsburg Area School District's Career Opportunity Seminar. We're pleased to have you in attendance and hope to provide you with some valuable information about who we are, what we do, and how you might be able to help us achieve our district vision and mission in serving our students and our community. East Stroudsburg Area School District is located along the Delaware River in the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania. Our district spans approximately 214 square miles and serves students from Monroe and Pike counties. We are 85 miles north of Philadelphia and 80 miles west of New York City. While considered rural, we have suburban characteristics, and much of our population has an urban flavor. East Stroudsburg is diverse in terms of ethnicity as well as socioeconomic status. East Stroudsburg has two main campuses. Our South Campus is located on Vine Street, East Stroudsburg, Monroe County, and our North Campus is just a few miles north of Bushkill Falls in Pike County. East Stroudsburg has 6 elementary schools, 2 intermediate schools, 2 high schools, and a cyber academy. We enrolled approximately 6,000 students in the 2020-2021 school year. Each of our buildings has a library and full-time librarian, and each of our students has a personal Chromebook as a learning resource. Our classroom instruction is integrated with technology to optimize differentiation and the personalization of instruction. East Stroudsburg offers a variety of programs to meet the needs of our students, and our employees are trauma-informed. ESASD offers math and literacy coaches, MTSS supports, English as a second language, student assistance programs, school-wide positive behavioral supports, and a wide variety of learning opportunities. East Stroudsburg Area Cyber Academy, known as ESACA, is offered to families as another educational option. Extensive after-school activities are available for all students. Thank you for joining us today. Now I would like to introduce Ms. Shay Jones, Elementary Coordinator of Social Services.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Shay Jones, and I'm the Coordinator of Social Services for Elementary. They say it takes a village to make a school district, and at East Stroudsburg Area School District, we offer a wide variety of employment opportunities in a variety of areas. We employ teachers, counselors, librarians, administrators, maintenance personnel, ITech personnel, administrative assistants, paraprofessionals, custodians, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, student aides, and school psychologists, to name a few. At East Stroudsburg Area School District, we employ approximately 1,400 employees that service approximately 6,500 students. In addition, we used 184 individuals as substitutes last year for these various positions. East Stroudsburg Area School District supports all students on their path to success, values their rich diversity. Our dynamic programs are delivered by high quality educators who utilize all the tools at their disposal to collaborate with home and community in order to deepen everyone's passion for lifelong learning. It is our mission at East Stroudsburg Area School District to foster within all students a commitment to excellence, service, and lifelong learning, which prepares students to be creative, productive, and responsible citizens with a global perspective. To elaborate on how we strive to put our mission into practice, here is our Director of Secondary Education, Ms. Heather Piparato.
Well, hello, everyone. I am sharing my screen with you. Can everybody see it? I just want to make sure everybody can see the screen.
Yes.
Oh, but now you can see my screen instead of the presentation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, that doesn't work. Let me stop and do that one more time. My apologies. Can you see it now? Do you still see the same thing? Okay. I'm not sure why it's not working. So let me try one more time. And again, my apologies to those of you who are on here and waiting for me to do this. I'm going to talk through it instead and see if we can't, I'll build you a visual picture with my words. So if you've listened so far and you are not an education regular, you've heard a lot of acronyms so far. But Shay's point is really pertinent. We have a mission and we have it stated and we have it posted in our schools and on our website. How do we make it practical? Let me paint you a picture of what it means to us. Our vision for our students is not a statement on a wall. It is a living, breathing vision that we put into practice every day. It used to be that school was about content. As long as we, as a district, delivered the content to our students in a way that successfully got them to graduation, we considered our job accomplished. No longer. It is not about content. Instead, our vision is about application of skills. We want students to know and to do. It is no longer about just getting them to graduation. It's about making them competitive in whatever they choose to do after graduation. So how do we do that at East Stroudsburg? That's a pretty tall order. And even though it seems like a small shift, it's a big shift. We do that by focusing on what we call the whole child. We know that just delivering academics is no longer going to result in the success that we want, namely having them be competitive in whatever they choose to do after high school. So we focus on what we call our 5 strategic objectives, or our 5 circles. Our first one is physical safety, making sure we provide that atmosphere of safety for our students, at the same time teaching them how to be physically safe with themselves and with others. Our second circle is emotional support, making sure that our students have what they need to take care of their own emotional needs and to treat each other with the emotional support that they need to be successful. Physical safety, emotional support. Our third circle is relevant pathways, making sure that our students start to discover now what their passion is in life. What kind of meaningful work am I going to engage in once I leave the hallowed halls of East Stroudsburg? What we do to bring them those experiences will really determine the kind of choices they start to make about their courses and about what they do after high school. Our fourth circle is academic support. We know that students come in biologically and environmentally, sometimes not ready for some of the things that they're going to experience here at East Stroudsburg. So we want to make sure that we have academic supports in place to bridge those gaps that they might have, to correct something, that a misconception that they might have, remove any academic obstacle they have to being as successful as they want to be. Physical safety, emotional support, relevant pathways, academic success, and learning experiences, our last circle. How do we provide meaningful, relevant, current learning experiences that will allow students to already dip into their toes into the water of the college career world? That's really what we want them to do, is get engaged in that. So those 5 circles for us, we call those our strategic objectives, and everything that we do, the decisions that we make, are focused on making sure that we're fulfilling our goals in one of those 5 circles. Traversing all those 5 circles are all the support systems that we have here in a district. We're really proud to say that we're focusing on professional development for our students, our teachers, and our administrators. We're making sure that we have human resources, that we find the best teachers possible, the best support aides possible, the best paras possible to support all the work that we're doing here. Communication and technology has never been more important than during this pandemic, and we continued to build that infrastructure. Our finances, we make sure that we have what we need in order to engage our students. And lastly, our focus on diversity, equity, inclusion. All of those supporting strands go through all those 5 circles to make sure that we're providing everything that we can for our students. We want that to be the focus, to make sure that our vision of not content, but application, and not graduation, but post-graduation are the focus. Here to elaborate more then on what that could mean for you in East Stroudsburg is Mr. Steve Zoll, our Director of Human Resources.
Thank you, Heather, for that overview for our district, and Jody and Shay as well. Good afternoon, and once again, welcome to our Career Opportunity Seminar here today. Joining me as well is Terry Bomar, who is our Assistant Principal at North High School, and also Jim McDonald, who works for the Intermediate Unit 20. That being said, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Terry to discuss some additional things in regards to employment opportunities.
Good afternoon. My name is Terrence Bomar, and I am the Assistant Principal at East Stroudsburg North. Before becoming Assistant Principal at East Stroudsburg North, I had the opportunity to serve in a number of capacities within the district. I started out as a day-to-day sub. I was able to serve as a long-term sub, a paraprofessional, a 5th grade teacher, a 6th grade English teacher, the in-school suspension teacher, and also do some seasonal work as a custodian and a maintenance in maintenance positions, and also the Dean of Students at East Stroudsburg South. I was able to gain all these experiences right here in the East Stroudsburg Area School District. Our district provides a wide range of employment opportunities in the following areas: substitute positions, like I mentioned with the day-to-day sub; support positions, like I mentioned with the paraprofessional position that I had; professional positions, as I mentioned, as the teacher; and administrative positions, such as those as a principal or a central administrator. Our district is also in charge of conducting our very own in-district trainings for various positions such as emergency permit training for substitute teaching, CDL training for bus drivers, and highly qualified paraprofessional training. At this time, I would like to share with you where you could find our employment opportunities from our district website. First, we would have you log on to our district website, which is esasd.net, and then you would click on employment. Once you click on employment, you can click on our employment opportunities database. And there you will be able to view our employment opportunities by building location and title. You're also able to click on the posting of the position in order to view and print the position's qualifications. Now, I would also like to show you where you can find information about our application process on our website. So again, we would log on to esasd.net, and you would scroll over the department's icon and click Human Resources. And then you would click Application Process on the left side of the screen. There you will find 4 areas in which you will receive information about the application process of your choice, as well as a frequently asked questions link. Lastly, before handing the floor over to Mr. McDonald, I would like to share with you a few tips on maximizing your ability to land employment opportunities here in the East Stroudsburg Area School District. First one is research the district. Find out find out who are the building principals of the positions in which you are interested in, and introduce yourself, whether through email or a phone call. Number 2, be available and professional. Make sure your contact information is up to date. Make sure the content on social media accounts are appropriate. You also want to make sure, and this may sound silly, but you want to make sure that your voicemail is set up, and your mailbox is not full, and that is set up in a professional manner. And the last thing is make sure you keep applying. Even though you may not get the position you want, don't be afraid to apply for the second or third option when it becomes available. You never know, you might end up in that position, that dream position in no time. At this time, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Jim McDonald, who will talk to you about the intermediate unit and how it supports our district and our students through education.
Thank you, Terrence. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Dr. Riker. At the risk of not creating any confusion, I am Jim McDonald. I'm the Director of Behavioral Health with IU20. This is separate from East Stroudsburg, but as Terrence mentioned, we have very strong relationships with our member districts. IU20 is what's called a regional service agency. There are actually 29 IUs across the Commonwealth of PA. Our IU is located in Easton, Pennsylvania, and we service all the public and non-public schools in Pike County, Monroe County, and Northampton County. Hence why I'm here today representing the IU at an East Stroudsburg event. We also employ roughly 1,500 plus employees at any one time. So as a consequence to that, we're frequently looking to employ or offer employment opportunities for new and varied positions, many of the same that Terrence mentioned. I can show you, I'd like to show you our website, which is pretty intuitive, that in a similar way shows the employment opportunities that Colonial IU20 has to offer. This is our website. It's all lowercase, CIU20.org, CIU20.org. And if you click on careers, you'll see drop-down menus, and you'll see career opportunities and current openings, substitute training, the clearances that would be required. But I want to draw your attention to this little icon here, the what am I qualified for icon. It's a neat little function that creates a table, and based on your education, your experience, your background. We can kind of coach you in the right direction for what kinds of positions you would be eligible for within our system. At the IU, we offer a supportive culture, comprehensive benefits packages, paid time off, retirement programs, and wellness activities. And so also, if you're looking for careers, we hope that you would consider us as well. Again, ciu20.org should you be interested. And thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Terry, as well. And I would like to take an opportunity. Terry's pretty humble about his conversation, but if listening to his experiences and years of service in our district, he's an individual that has transcended through support, professional, substitute, and today, like I said at the start of introducing him, he's an administrator. He's an assistant principal in our district at North High School. And that's also a credit to his commitment and dedication, not only to East Stroudsburg, but to his own education and his own schooling. And all of that, I know he would say, it is possible and as a result of his employment and work in our district. So Terry, I appreciate you sharing what you did convey. And Jim, thank you for the introducing the website for the IU and information that applies there. As well. The one thing which Terry also referenced and talked about what was our application process. And I just want to take a moment just to share with you briefly once again the links for where you can access this on our human resources page, the application process. If looking at the steps for the professional support, administrative, substitute, it takes you through specifically all the steps and positions that we have available for such opportunities. And I understand right now, when you're doing the job searching and looking for that permanent employment experience, sometimes it's few and far between. I strongly encourage individuals to go ahead and get an application on file. List any areas that you would be qualified to substitute in. The more opportunities that you get to be on site in a building, working towards what you are looking for, as a career path, the better your opportunities of experience, exposure, and people having an opportunity to see you on the job and working with our kids and around our school system. So again, number of different positions that people can substitute for, depending on your experiences and qualifications. So I do encourage you to access our website and the application process to seek out what steps to take. So thanks very much for the employment opportunity end of things. At this time, we are going to shift a little bit, and I want to introduce Christine from our Human Resources Office to talk a little bit about clearances and what steps you can take, because that tends to be one of the areas that people have some challenges navigating on time to time. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Christine Mayhauser from our Human Resources Office.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Meyerhauser, Human Resources Administrative Assistant. I just wanted to talk a few minutes regarding clearances. So 1 second, we'll see if we can take care of that feedback. Okay. All right, can everybody hear me okay? Okay, good. All right, good. All right, so first and foremost, again, my name's Christine Meyerhauser, Human Resources Administrative Assistant. I'll also be your main point of contact for any new hire paperwork coming on board with us, whether that be in a full-time regular capacity or a substitute capacity, okay? What you may not be necessarily very familiar with is the clearances, and working in school districts, that's something that is required. Something important to note, we do not require you to obtain clearances and submit them just to apply for a position. Due to the cost involved, and they keep on, those costs keep on going up, we don't want to ask everybody to put out that money. However, do know that if you are interviewed and offered and hired for a position at that time as part of the new hire requirements, we would ask you that you would obtain those clearances. Not a daunting task though. I do want to quickly mention, if you already happen to have clearances, maybe you work at another school district or Colonial IU, we will accept those clearances if they're within 1 year. We need clearances within one year coming on board with us. After on board with us, we would ask they be renewed every 5 years. Okay, so, but I do want to walk you through that process and how to obtain the clearances. A key note also is that there is different types of clearances. So I strongly encourage you to use our district website to obtain those clearances so you ensure that you get the appropriate ones. So we're going to walk you through. If you go to our district website, www.esasd.net, click on departments and then human resources. And then on the left, you're going to click on clearances. There's a link to each of the 3 clearances. The first one, the Act 34, is the Pennsylvania State Criminal Background Check. Okay, that out of all 3 is by far the easiest one to obtain. So if you click on that, you're going to go right down to where it says it's about midway, and it's submit a new record check. Okay, so when you click on that, it's really self-explanatory. Kind of walks you through the whole registration process, what you have to obtain. You pay right online, and that clearance comes out right away. So you will be able to print that right away. Takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes to do that clearance. So I encourage you, obviously make sure that we get a copy, always keep a copy for your reference as well. So that is the Pennsylvania State clearance. Again, easiest one to obtain. If you go back to our website, we have, next is the FBI, the fingerprinting. This one, not terribly hard, but a few extra steps. So first off, you're gonna, we wanna note in number 2, bullet 2 there's a service code, okay? So you're gonna copy that, and when you go into the link, it's gonna immediately ask for that service code, and that is particular to our school. So you put in that service code, hit go, and then you're going to go schedule or manage an appointment. So you're going to go right online, fill in all of your information, and you will set an appointment right through this website. Depending on where you're located at, there's the closest one that I'm aware of is Dawn's Title and Tag, which is on Route 209. I do know that there is one in the Lehigh Valley, a fingerprinting site, as well as one in Shahola. But Dawn's Title and Tag is the closest one logistically. So, but again, you'll set your appointment on here, arrive at Dawn's Title and Tag with your driver's license. They will take your fingerprints, you'll pay while you're there, and then they're going to give you a retail receipt that says Identigo on it. Make sure you keep a copy of that receipt. You will get emailed a copy of your fingerprint clearance, but all we need is a copy of that receipt. It has a UEID number on it, and with that number, we can pull up the report we need for our records. Again, keep a copy for your records when they mail it to you or email it to you. Lastly, we have the child abuse clearance. Now, this one is a little, it's a little bit of homework, if you will. So this one, when you log in first, I just want to explain, if you've never applied for the child abuse clearance previously, you will need to create an individual account, okay? So if you click on create an individual account, you're gonna read the information here and click next at the bottom. And then it's gonna ask for a Keystone ID. That is a username. So that is something that you will create. Just know it as a username. They call it a Keystone ID, and it creates some ambiguities about that, but that's a username that you create. So you're going to, it's again, you creating an account, whatever username you choose, all of your information, and select security questions. So in the event that you forget your password or username in the future. important item to note, please write these down for future reference. If, assuming you're hired with us, you need to renew your clearances in 5 years, you'll need to re-access this account. So please keep this for your reference. Okay. And then once you do that, you're going to finish. Okay. Once you enter information, and you're going to go back to the main screen, the screen right before this, and you're going to go into individual login. So if we go back one, okay, one more. Yep. Okay, and then you're going to click in individual login and enter in that Keystone ID that you just created with your password. Now, I say this is a little bit of homework. It is going to ask information regarding previous residences. I believe at least for the last 10 to 15 years, possibly even more, plus who you've lived with. So just kind of be ready for those questions when you do apply for this clearance. This clearance typically takes about 7 to 10 business days to be returned. So, and you'll have the option to select whether it's emailed to you or mailed to you. And again, just make sure that we get a copy. So that is the 3 clearances. If you need to have them done, again, if you're just applying for a position, you don't need to do them right away. Substitutes in the district, obviously that would be something that we would walk you through during that hiring process. But if you have any questions, our contact information is on our website, and we will share that. Again, Christine Meyerhauser, and you can reach out to me at any time if you have any questions on that process of clearances or any of the application process.
Thank you, Christine, for running through the clearance information for us. At this time, I'd like to introduce Ray Lenhart and Dee Lowe to review interview tips for those applying and getting interviews with our district.
All right, can everybody see my screen? Okay. Well, thank you everyone once again for being here with us this afternoon. And thank you, Christine and Steve, for your information. You guys presented on the foundational things that need to happen prior to the interview. But here, Dietrich Lowe and I will present on some really good, solid tips while preparing for the interview. And we even talk about, in this presentation, what to remember to do during the interview. Dietrich serves as one of our educators in East Stroudsburg Area School District, and I am one of our school administrators. All right. We found this quote that perfectly sums up the interview process. And it's always good to remember and put this into perspective. Interviewing for jobs can be a stressful process. After all, your future is at stake. You need to show your interviewer that you have the right technical skills, experience, and attitude to perform the job well. Now that is a perfect quote. However, we know, as all of us in this Zoom meeting have all interviewed at least a few times in our careers, and we know it's not always this easy, but we will provide you some tips to remember when going through the interview process. This may be an old cliche, but ensuring you get the proper amount of rest that you need to do your best interview in the interview process is extremely important. Nerves, anxiety, those are likely to happen, but those are compounded when one wouldn't get the sufficient amount of rest. Do not attend your interview on an empty stomach. You never want to overeat, so you're bloated during the interview process, but your brain needs some food, which leads to energy and that critical thinking. So as silly as this may sound, I've seen candidates who admitted to that happening, and needless to say, their interview was not as successful as perhaps it could have been. This one is an oldie but goodie. Arrive to the location at least 15 minutes prior to the start of your interview. I personally would recommend 30 to 45 minutes only if the location of your interview is somewhat of a distance away from your home, because you just never can anticipate what traffic issues or actions that may occur that could affect your travel time. And wear your best to impress. You always want to look your best, properly ironed clothes, proper attire for the interview process. There's really not such a thing as overdressing for an interview, but there is a chance that someone could underdress for an interview. So definitely wear your best. Essentially, your interview begins the day you apply. Once you submit your resume and perhaps cover letter, there will be someone in HR, such as Christine or Steve, that begin reviewing your materials. So if your resume is not up to date, your resume not tell our district human resources department what exactly you have to offer our district. Also proofread your resume, because we do read every line as when reviewing the candidates' information that they submit. So you want to make sure that all care is taken to make sure there are no spelling or grammatical errors. So you are submitting your best resume and best cover letter. When speaking on the phone with anyone, you'll likely speak with someone on the phone at some point, at the very least when Christine or someone else is calling you to set up the interview. You want to be clear, you want to be concise, and you want to make sure Christine knows that you have a positive attitude. Those are some of the first impressions that you can have with a district and the human resources department, or it may be the principal or school leader of the building calling you. You want to make sure that you're truly on your A game when responding, interacting with anyone from the district. So before you even get to that point where you are in the interview process or submitting an application, you should be researching the district or place of employment you're looking to interview for. You want to find out what they're all about. What are their characteristics? What are their demographics? What is their work like? What are the values? Do they have a mission statement or vision statement? What can you tell from their website? You really want to research it heavily to find out, is it going to be a perfect match for you in your career? As I said, do you feel you're a perfect match? You want to ask you that question based on the preliminary information that you research. And lastly, when in the interview, they may ask you, why are you interested in working here? And here specifically, East Stroudsburg Area School District. You want to be prepared to answer that question. If you have done no research on the district or place of employment you're looking for, I'm not sure you can truly wholeheartedly answer that question in a satisfactory manner. So you really want to know everything about the place you're looking to interview for. And for our next few slides, Deatrice Lowe will be presenting and sharing information with everyone.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deatrice Lowe, and I'm a teacher in East Stroudsburg Area School District for the past 17 years, and at the middle school level. So I'm so excited to be here today and share this information with everyone. So in preparing for the interview, you should anticipate some likely questions. Things such as, tell me about yourself. And at that point, you would like to be able to highlight what you have to bring to the table. What do you have to offer to the district as an individual? Are you a team player? Those are things that we are looking to actually look at and hoping that they could help us in our looking for teachers. What are your weaknesses? Honesty is always admirable. It's very good to know what your weaknesses are and to have those identified, because that also can make you a better person, in the forefront in working with the educational community. If you don't know something, please be honest about it. You don't want to try to act as though you do know. It's always okay to ask an interviewer to repeat the question if you're not sure. That may allow you some time to revamp in your mind what it is that you need to say and how you want to say that. So it's okay to ask to repeat a question. Take a shot at answering the question, even if you don't know or you think you're close to answering. It's also good to do mock interviews. That may seem a little awkward, but you'll have a chance to craft your responses and get used to how you should answer certain questions. Okay, during the interview, you should always make eye contact with everyone who's in the room. It could be very likely that you may have to interview in front of a team. I know recently we've done that at the middle school level. So you may have 2 people in the room with you. You may have 5 or 6 people in the room with you. And it's very important to make that eye contact. Take time to think before you respond. And again, I'd like to reiterate, if you're not understanding a question, it's okay to ask to please repeat the question so that you can think about that and answer properly. Speak with confidence. That says a lot. That also, speaking with confidence also goes hand in hand with your body language. So you want to have that positivity that's up and on the forefront when you are interviewing. Show your personality. Okay, the interview panel needs to know who you are, and they can clearly see that. So that's very also important. Prepare thoughtful questions to ask at the conclusion of your interview. You'll be allowed to ask questions, and of course, if you have questions, please ask, and I'm sure your interviewer will be more than welcome to answer those for you. It's very important to thank everyone for their time before you exit that interview. They remember that, they will remember that, and it's a lasting impression. It's just like your first impression, your last impression is also valuable. After the interview, follow up with a thank you, whether it be email or handwritten card. I prefer sending handwritten notes. I think that's a very classy way of doing things. But nowadays, either one is suitable, and you should do that within 7 days of your interview. Okay, you shouldn't do it 2 months later. Okay, 7 days is usually the appropriate timing for that type of thing. Ensure that you thank all participants that have given you the time to interview you, take on your resume, and make sure that you were there for that date and time. Reflect on your interview immediately afterward. These are things that are going to help you prepare you for future interviews. Consider doing the following. Make a list of all the questions that were asked. I know sometimes it's difficult to remember what you were asked during that time, but whatever stood out in your head, try to jot it down, okay, as soon as you have that opportunity. Note what your responses were. And what do you feel that you did well during the interview? I know sometimes you may be hard on yourself, oh, I should have done this different. But try to focus on the things that you did well, and then you can craft and work on the things that you didn't do well. How do you feel that you can improve in the future? Those are things to land you a very, very successful interview. Okay, good luck to everyone. I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Leonard.
Thank you so much, Beatrice. Sometimes, the interview process is a little overwhelming for some. In other cases, it's taken for granted. I'm going to nail this. I've been here before. I'm not worried about it. And there's really a lack of preparation. But we hope that these tips are a bit helpful for everybody, because interviews can be challenging for most individuals, and it's always important to remember the tips that we shared with everyone. So at this point, if there are anyone in attendance who has questions for any of our presenters on anything we presented, this will be your time to shoot us a question.
As educators, I think that was sufficient wait time. I did not see any questions, Ray. Did you see any?
I did not.
Okay.
But Steve,
So,
would you like to share your email address?
Yep. I will get that information up in a second. I just wanted to take an opportunity, first and foremost, to thank all of you in attendance here for our Career Opportunities Seminar. And I truly want to thank our panel that has participated today to help lead the dialogue and the discussion and the opportunities that East Stroudsburg has to offer to anyone who takes an interest in seeking out employment, seeking training opportunities, and looking for that hopefully that career path, with our district for the long haul. That being said, I'd also like to highlight, a few of the items. Of course, Jim McDonald with us from the IU referenced about employment opportunities, with the IU, which obviously they house and have opportunities throughout the region, encompassing far more than just East Stroudsburg as a district. Of course, I want to, highlight for East Stroudsburg as well. If not getting those permanent employment opportunities, I strongly encourage individuals to seek out training and opportunities to get yourself in position for even substitute assignments, whether that means a professional substitute. And even if perhaps you haven't pursued a teaching program, if you have a 4-year degree, you can absolutely receive an emergency permit to still substitute in the classroom setting on a daily basis. And our district will be offering training for those opportunities here in this summer. In addition, we're going to be offering trainings, as Terry referenced earlier, for those that may be interested in driving any of our school buses with a CDL training. And we're also going to be offering a training for those individuals who want to serve as a paraprofessional or personal care assistant in working with our students and supporting our teachers. And we're going to be conducting a training for that as well. And so these are opportunities that are here right within our district. If seeking and looking for employment, I'm going to encourage you to reach out, get in contact with us, and I'll share our screen with you with our contact information, or if wanting to take a photo of that information. But please, contact our HR department at hr@esasd.net, and also our phone number 570-424-8500, extension 10301. And I get it. You can always go on our website and find that information, or if you have your phone with you, you might even want to take a snapshot of that information as we are speaking. So once again, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for our panel and for those of you attending. This concludes our career opportunity seminar for today. I'm sorry.
Steve, we do have a raised hand, I believe, from Trishana.
Yes, hello, hi, how are you?
Hi.
Okay, I had 2 questions. I took off the last year to stay at home with my kids. Would I have to renew all my clearances? I was with the district working prior to as a building substitute.
Did you substitute at all, Ms. Thomas, this past school year?
No, I took off to stay at home with the kids, but that's why I was wondering, prior to that, I had all my paperwork that was in the district. Do I have to redo everything?
What I would say, without having the specific details here in front of us, someone from our office, Christine, or myself, will be able to reach back out to you once we pull your application and your folder information, and we can assess if your clearances are outside of 1 year or not with our district.
Okay, and I had one more question. I had the opportunity to work online also when I was the building substitute teacher to take over a classroom. I just finished my master's degree in elementary education. Would I be able to apply for one of those positions online, even if I don't have my certification?
Yeah, if you've completed your programming and not familiar with where you may have completed it, often while you're still waiting for the application process for that certification, the universities will actually also provide you with a letter indicating that you've met all the necessary requirements. So to answer your question, yes, you absolutely can initiate applying for assignments.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ray, for catching that Ms. Thomas had a question for us. Any other questions before we close out here for today? Okay, seeing none, once again, I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate everyone's investment with East Stroudsburg and look forward to working with all of you here in the near future. Thanks very much and have a great day, everyone.